Charm is not a prerequisite, but rather a consequence. Firstly, leadership does not require charm. You can exercise leadership without possessing charm. There are training courses that focus on developing leadership charm, which reflects the belief that leaders need to be charming. However, I disagree with this view. If leadership is equated with charm, then most people would feel hopeless because only a very small percentage of people are considered charming. Does this mean that those who are not charming cannot be leaders? Management guru Peter Drucker also disagrees with equating leadership with charm. He believes that you do not need charm to exercise leadership. Drucker once received a call from a human resources vice president of a large bank who urgently wanted him to conduct a training session on how to acquire charm. Drucker disappointed her by saying that leadership has nothing to do with charm. He described leadership with 3 adjectives: secular, unromantic, and dull. Why is this so? Drucker explained that the essence of leadership is performance. In my previous lecture, I quoted Drucker as saying that leadership is responsibility. I would like to elaborate on this by saying that the responsibility of leadership is to solve problems. Now, Drucker says that the essence of leadership is performance. Do you think there is a conflict between responsibility and performance? I think they are actually saying the same thing. The responsibility of leadership is to solve problems, and solving problems creates performance. Whoever can lead others to solve problems has leadership, regardless of whether they possess charm or not. Drucker cited many examples of politicians, including several U.S. presidents, from Lincoln, who led the North and South in the Civil War, to Truman and Eisenhower after World War II. Drucker said that these people did not possess the charm that people commonly associate with leaders, but they all had strong leadership. Secondly, exercising leadership often brings charm, rather than requiring charm first. Specifically, leadership can bring charm in 2 ways. 1. In the process of exercising leadership, you will truly change yourself, and this will make you more charming. 2. When you exercise leadership and create performance, even if you are the same person, others will see you as more charming. Thirdly, charm can become a burden for you. There are 3 levels of relationship between leadership and charm, and I have already discussed the first 2. First, charm is not a prerequisite for exercising leadership. Second, charm often results from exercising leadership. Now I will discuss the 3rd level of relationship. Charm can also become a burden for exercising leadership. This level of relationship is very interesting. I just told you that you can exercise leadership without possessing charm. You may be happy about this, but you may also think that having charm is not a bad thing. However, you may not have considered that Drucker said. In fact, charm is a burden for leaders, making them stubborn, self-righteous, and unable to change. How can charm become a burden for leaders? This actually goes back to what I said earlier, that charm often results from exercising leadership. As you exercise leadership, people will see you as more charming. This change that occurs in the eyes of others can be a positive thing when it is mild, but it can become a negative thing when it is severe and leads to idolization. In the eyes of followers, leaders gradually become idolized. At the same time, due to human weaknesses, leaders themselves also believe in this idolization. As Drucker said, after being idolized, leaders become stubborn, self-righteous, and unable to change, ultimately bringing disaster to the organization and to themselves. You may still be curious about how a leader's charm can bring disaster to an organization. A leadership scholar summarized 10 side effects of charm, and I will tell you a few. First, because followers admire the leader, they no longer make suggestions. Second, because they want the leader's approval, followers are unwilling to offer criticism. Third, because of the admiration of followers, leaders develop the illusion of infallibility. Fourth, leaders become overconfident and ignore the dangers they face. Fifth, because of their dependence on the leader, the organization fails to cultivate competent successors. There are 5 more points, but I won't go into each one. In short, the charm that comes with leadership is often magnified and idolized. The leader, who was originally just a person, is now seen as a god, which can bring many problems, even disasters. A god will always think they are right, which is what Drucker called self-righteousness and an inability to change. Ordinary people will not want to offer suggestions or criticism to a god.